Does Monica zooming or is she gonna,
I think she's zooming today.
so we might want to hit the Zoom going.
Yeah, that's, I'm working on that right now.
Oh, sorry. I don't need to text her yet.
Yeah, and then your account summary report for expenditures is 492 entries.
Huh?
Copy of the agenda.
Oh, I haven't handed them out yet.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Sorry.
And one of your reports has 492 entries. So there's no way I can, get my.
The expenditures,
Yeah.
yeah,
Would you like me to have it?
I'm sure if you want to. There, this is the director's report, it's separate,
Okay.
but then, and the finances are together with the thing. Here, and I'll hand around the sign-in sheet.
Yeah. Can you help separating? Okay. I'll do the old fashioned way, the hard way. One at a time.
The old fashioned is the hard way. But that's what we know.
I know, right?
Now, you did.
That stuff.
No. Remember a couple years ago, I brought a guy, he ran the union for the crane operator.
Yeah.
He's actually doing the work in his office. Oh,
506
see, that guy's a great guy.
Yeah, she,
38085.
good. I mean, like that.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
What's our principal's name again?
Recording in progress.
Kara.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
And then it went on 5. They can hear us.
on. Wow.
Yeah, there.
Oh, you get an individual. All right. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna make a round of individual. And other emails and contacts are. Well, you gotta be a good idea, Aaron? You.
Okay, now let me see.
That's
I
like that.
gotta do the owl.
Yes, I do. You get my conversations.
I am sending it to her right now.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. With the roll call. Are we recording?
So I'll make a motion to start the meeting, right? Is that how we do it, or you can go? All right, good.
And I think this owl mechanism is gonna help with the sound. Remember, you gotta make that comment.
Thank you.
And it works right, and when you're talking, it'll pick up the.
It works because I was talking and it picked us up.
Okay,
And voice will do that.
so roll call, April,
Present.
Lawrence,
Present.
Bob. Carlos. Here. Mark, here. Monica,
Her computer's still thinking. She'll be right.
and Sylvia's not here. Okay, did everyone get a chance to take a look at the agenda? We have a form, so we have a form. And in public comment, Linda's gonna be in public comment.
Yes, and, I had tried Ortiz, but, he's actually on the Zoom for me. He'll come in at 5:30. I'd like to give him an opportunity, whether you add it today.
Okay, so if I could get a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of Clyde.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, leave. Meeting minutes from last meeting,
I have a correction.
okay?
Now where was it? Okay. Right here in the first sentence, the approval of, agenda,
Uh-huh.
I think I messed up right here.
Secretary's finding the correction.
A makes a motion.
Hay makes a motion, yes. Remove the A. That's probably it. Hopefully.
And who is Elias Vasquez? Right? Teacher? Yeah.
The same one.
You have another? Oh,
It's like I know it's for a school in need. Robert, what's the MRI stand for again?
More rigorous intervention.
Oh, that's it. I knew it.
I was hunting the internet for that one. I couldn't find it. I got knee MRIs, but not that one.
And it had money attached to it.
Yeah, I remember talking about it. I couldn't, yeah.
And a number of state visits and, quite a bit of paperwork to go. So far, it's been no problem.
Okay, so does anyone have any corrections or edits to the meetings? Minutes from last time? I did a motion to approve the meeting minutes minus the A.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from last month minus the 8.
Yes. Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey, Lanika,
Hey,
sorry you had to miss traffic, and not be able to drive everything.
I know.
Send it to you, right?
Okay, so public comment, we're at public comment and. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, try to get you out of there.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna pass out our New Mexico dash.
What is that? What is that?
Okay, the New Mexico dash is the
You have time to do it.
plan, the 90-day plan. It's an annual plan that every school in New Mexico has to complete.
Sorry.
This one's like.
Did you need to go?
Yeah, we got time to see.
Okay, okay.
Which document do you want me to pull up?
The New Mexico dash.
Mm, that was a scavenger hunt.
So the scavenger hunt was part of the New Mexico dance.
But
The scavenger hunt was what we did with the staff or.
Oh, gotcha.
oh, no, I have like 6 attachments, so I'm not sure which one.
You want the,
You got it, you got hard time.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm
yeah.
missing them that.
Will you pass this to the board? Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you pulling up something?
Yeah.
And again, Dan.
Okay.
What is that?
Dash is the year-long plan that we have to turn into the state with our goals. It has our data from previous years and what we're going to do to improve. Okay.
And it's at 90 days, you
90
review, and you make the new 90 days.
New 90-day based on this
It's,
in the second semester.
is
That's
that the one?
perfect. That's it,
Okay.
that's it. So this plan, if you look at it carefully, it is a total of what, 20-some? 21 pages, 21 pages. It was due the second week at school. Then we came back to school. The budget was due the week before school. So it was really difficult to get a lot of people in it because it also included many more goals than we had before. Because we are an MRI status, we had to do graduation, English language arts 6 through 8, English language arts 9 through 12, math 6 through 8, math 9 through 12, science 6 through 8, science 9 through 12, and ELP, English language proficiency goals. So the science and English language proficiency goals were in addition, and the English language arts in math and English language arts, the high school goals were necessary for it. So that was what, 4 other full-fledged goals we had to show data and we had to do goals for those. And your school needs to know about it. Your teachers need to know what is involved in it. And so we had department heads come together and help us set the goals for English and for math. and science. And then we had Linda with bilingual ed, help us with English language proficiency, Erin also, and graduation we worked on. So we have those small groups and then we put it together to get this document. But your whole staff has to know about it.
Sure.
So 21 pages. So what we did was a scavenger hunt. So you have the one-page scavenger hunt front to back. And teachers are responsible for the data. So as well as everybody, the whole staff is. So we all have to know pretty much everything in the document. If you're an English language art teacher, you better know what you're going to be held responsible
And the
for.
PED people could walk in and talk to a teacher and ask them those questions.
Any teacher in any. subject.
Any teacher, all of them will know, because everybody has a piece. Even if you aren't an ELA, math, or science teacher, you have a piece because we do our star and freckle through advisory. So every single piece. So they all know their piece and they all know what the growth is, what they're expecting. And we now also have data meetings once a month. So everyone's working on a data wall to show the data visually, so so students can see it. Robert said that we should do this scavenger hunt, but it takes about an hour if you know the document. So he
No,
said.
that's it, I'm at the council.
Well, I was already gonna ask for training because I read it and I said, I think it's 0.
So this is, everybody did this before we left for a staff meeting one day, all the teachers. And the teachers who weren't there got the additional one and another.
How did they do?
They did great. They did great. They were allowed to work together. And at the end, we gave all the answers. Yeah. They got to look at it. Yeah. they
It was
totally
open
did.
and,
Yeah.
They did well.
Yeah.
And so
Well, then.
So we have to present this to our parents. So it's really important that they know their part and what the goals are. So October 9th and 10th, we have a PowerPoint, we have the dash in it for Title I, so that they can go over it with parents also.
On those dates, are there parents coming in anyways?
Yes, they're coming in for parent-teacher
Parent
conferences,
teachers.
October 9th and 10th. So then they will present whatever data parents are interested.
Do you separate the grades amongst all those 3 days or it's open?
No, so whatever works for you. And if you have a 9th grader and a 12th grader, you can do it together. We don't make you come back. We'll do it together. And IEPs.
Correct. For our students with IEPs, if there's between
Bless you.
September 23rd and October
Bless you.
25th, they can count that IEP meeting as a conference so that the parents don't have to come in. So we try to accommodate the teachers and the parents.
Oh, parents come in.
Yes. It's
Why?
mandatory. Yeah.
Well, it's inappropriate of parents to talk.
Well.
So one teacher, so one of the questions on the back is how can the 90-day dash plan be explained to parents? And we had one teacher who suggested that she's gonna have her students do a little overview sheet on Canva. So she's making that, the students are kind of an easy brochure for parents to get the information. Because 21 pages is really long. It took forever to even get it together. So, okay, that was the first step. So now that was dash PED, and it's extensive because we're in MRI status, most rigorous intervention for, yeah, so. Okay. So then they required more. So. Do you want to pull up the other one, Irene?
Which one?
It's kind of the golden from PED.
Let's see. Let me see. Does it say school improvement and
Yes.
transformation monitoring visit summary?
Yes, that's it.
That's it? Okay,
Oh, the summary? No, that's that's
That's
the
not it?
end.
okay. There's RFK SITM High School. Detail report, is it the one I had up there?
No,
No,
it's the.
math or reading?
No, don't do the math or reading. Do the summary report. Let's see that one.
The summary?
Let's see that.
I think it was this one.
I think that's the end one, but let's
It's
look
this
at it.
one? This one?
No, it's a booklet.
And on the.
It's a
on
huge
the
booklet.
Assessments.
And it's in this
Not
email you
one.
sent me?
Yeah,
you're-
Those, these are all the ones that you have
How does
attached.
that go?
okay, that's all right. I'll just do
So
this.
on that.
Okay,
3 through 8,
unless it's in the detail
pick the
report?
First one.
No, not in the detail report.
Just what the levels. As you
Yeah.
go over.
So the level one is the low
No,
level and the.
I
Okay.
guess-
This is the next piece of data that PED wanted. And all of this data is already in the dash that you have. Only this is visual, I guess. They wanted it again. So.
I found it,
You
Linda.
found it? Okay.
Mhm.
Here.
I think so. You tell me.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so they gave us this huge book. I didn't print out the huge book, okay? But if you'll go through. We had to answer all these questions. So there was a bunch, this tells you about it. You have to answer a bunch of questions. Keep going. Keep going, keep
Mhm.
going. Okay, and then one more.
One more?
Yeah, keep going. Again. Okay, so this is the data sheet that we gave them, and it just has whatever we could get in the very short period of time they gave us to do this also. It was like a quick turnaround, because we're gonna come visit you in a week, but we want all this data right away. And it's really hard to pull all the data from all the different people who have it. So we did the best we could. We pulled all the data we had in our dash, and we gave them this data. And then they came to visit us. Oh, no, we gave them more data, sorry. Irene, can you pull up the math and the reading,
Mm-hmm.
our math and reading?
Yep.
Okay. Review and April.
Which one do you want first, Linda?
It doesn't matter. The reading is fine. Do reading first.
Okay.
I'm passing out the reading. So one of our goals was to improve our star reading performance 5% from beginning of the year to middle of the year, middle of the year to end of the year is another 5%. And that is for reading and for math on the STAR Universal Screener. If you look at the paper, ninth grade, anybody in the red, they got put into a freckle intervention class.
Oh, no way.
One
it's-
bar, one person?
I'm sorry, what?
One bar is one person?
One bar is, yes, one person.
Copy, got it.
Okay, so we did that for ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. The only students who were red and didn't get in were IEP students. Because they're in a special class also, but not this. So these
Oh,
are,
no,
this is our
gosh.
initial data. So we'll do it again in December and we'll do it again at the end of the year. So this is reading.
11th grade is not bad.
Did
Which
we do
grade?
this last-
11th,
Yes.
We did
11th
this
grade,
last
yeah,
year.
look at
Yeah.
12th grade.
that like 12. We
We
displayed it differently last year, though, right?
Not here, but that year was over for you.
Last year was our first.
Okay, because I've seen this before.
Yeah, but it's different data because these are this
I
year.
don't know why it doesn't want to share it.
So, okay, so that's reading, and then I'm gonna give you math also, so you can see the math that we did. So, here's math.
But it was really interesting that a number of students that had to be in Freckle last year took the test much more seriously.
I don't know why
It
it's
does
not.
not need to be in Freckle this year.
They did
So,
not.
because we used last year's data and put the kids in there, and then based on this year's data, we had to go back and look at it and take them out.
Oh, good.
There's math.
You know why?
They took the test serious.
Yes, absolutely,
Realized you went out of Freckle, get the test serious.
right. It's the only way to get out. That's out.
Do the kids feel embarrassed going into Freckle? Was that one of the motivators to get out of it?
Well, it's a non-core.
There's reading and there's math.
Okay.
Right, and so you're not in PE, you're not in your math.
Oh, maybe it's two.
It's a additional class plus your English class. And so.
This is all reading. This is all reading.
But they do want out,
And that one's
right?
math.
Because
See
they
right
want
here.
to graduate.
Okay.
And so
This is
the
not-
advantage is that if you
Not
read at
math.
a second grade level,
This is all
you
math.
get that
Not
second
scale
grade level.
score?
You read at a
Yeah,
fifth grade
math.
level, but you're not at the
Yeah,
11th grade level.
This is all
right?
math and.
But so you need to be within
Okay.
2 grade levels, right, to
Does it make any difference?
be working your way up. So you're red, yellow, and a green, right? But the reds have to be.
They're the same.
It's interesting, if you look at
The
math in ninth grade,
Yeah.
and
I think
then
her
turn it
labels
over
are
and
not
look at math at
her
12th grade,
labels.
you can see,
She
you
didn't
know,
change the label.
it's better. in 12th
It does.
grade, some improvement.
Wait a minute.
So, but these are different kids, but we will
Got it?
see how it goes in December. So in December, we'll have a growth comparison chart, you'll be able to see.
And it'll be the same kid.
It'll be the same kids.
And
yeah.
do the kids get to see this?
Yes,
And the reason I ask is there's,
So did this make it,
I
what is
saw,
the star math skills score on both of them? Is that different, something different?
I'm sorry,
The star math scale score, is that different on both of the handouts? They both say that. I'm wondering what's different. What is that?
I just think the label on
Yeah,
your,
one- They
your
both say math.
bar chart
Okay.
is the same.
Wait, what are you talking
So
about?
the
Okay,
grade,
right here, it says, star math skills score on all of them. Is that, what is that?
so the score is
I just
based,
think
that's
you
where
did
it's at.
change
making
it.
The
it.
math.
That's just
And then
the
on the bottom
score.
it's
It's
Okay,
not-
that's just the graph. Okay,
What's
that's the
that?
graph. Okay, all right.
Oh, it's.
Yeah, she-
It doesn't say.
That's just the graph. Nate, that's just it's graph, right?
Oh,
Details.
okay, that's,
Details.
that should say reading, should
Okay.
say reading, you're right, great catch. I didn't
okay,
see
the
that.
question that I had is, the reason I asked if kids get to see this, because I would personally like to see this. If it was me and I was a yellow, as opposed to getting a letter grade, because when I look at this, I go, I don't have that much more to go. If I see that mark and I don't feel freaked out, there's I don't know what school district does it, somewhere in the East Coast where they don't give grades, they do something called not yet. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we have.
All right, so I was, I
Definitely.
don't know if it was,
Same classroom here. right?
okay, was, I don't know if it was a PBS, 60 Minutes or something, instead of getting grades, and they were able to get their school, from a 5%, instead of giving grades, they'd say, not yet, we've got some work to do, and then those kids, it was a multiple of 4, now it's 20% are passing.
Okay,
Anyway,
Well, wait,
that is really good, I want to
let's
show,
talk about
can
data.
we show this?
Yeah.
So I think that the data that's going up on the wall really does address the issue.
Plus,
I think it's good. I think
plus
it's cool.
look at this. This is math, this is reading. So if you have a number, your number that you get is a certain number. Look at this. If you're a yellow, red, or green, or blue, you track the data. Oh, you give this. I don't have this, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
You track the data on this.
Oh.
Everybody has a tracker.
Okay.
All the students, yeah.
Every student
Individual
has a
student.
tracker, yeah, and they keep track of it also, just like you suggested they do, and then they have the data chart also,
A lot of
yes.
teachers have
On the
students
wall.
go up and place their score like a little sticker on the actual graph in the classroom, so they can see where it's at. And then they take it again in the middle of the year, they'll get to see either.
And does it seem like that's positive peer pressure versus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Shame.
you could see some students where they're excited, initially this is baseline information for us, beginning of the year. So the hope is that they're gonna improve in December.
So I would call it positive peer pressure. It's just, motivation individual to see
Yeah.
that you're improving.
Well, but again,
We've seen
you're doing
this
it in the group
in a-
setting.
In a classroom.
Yeah,
with everybody.
the
Students.
I don't think it's the student's name.
No, yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that they're anonymous.
Yeah.
They're
It's a
not,
dot on a,
it's just a dot,
on a
But
chart.
you know your dot.
you know where your dot is.
I don't do it in front of everybody. I
Yeah.
just said, okay, all right.
No.
Yeah, because I was thinking like you, Mark,
Yeah,
I would
me
be
too.
like, I would be motivated
Yeah,
to
no,
get above the line. Yeah.
Where else not even?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They see where they're at, but the other kids don't, because they're all the same.
I mean, apply my dot up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
place it when the teacher brings the score, but it's not, it doesn't say like, yeah. It's just.
And
And you're
not everyone does it like that.
Right, right.
Some teachers just put it up. Yeah, and you can go and look and see where your dot probably is. Yeah, yeah. So,
Those public grades. The issue.
Well, it's not like, you did it, you saw it, you forgot.
No, I like all this idea. It's just, if a kid's going up in front of the rest of the class, they're putting his dot and then.
Yeah, I know, so.
Yeah, no, yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, any questions on all this data so far? On top of this, we also do Illuminate Ed testing. So that's a common assessment given by English language department, math department, and we'll be doing it in science department. And the same thing applies. They have a pre-test, then they'll take it again at the middle of the year, they'll take it at the end of the year. And we expect another 5% by the middle of the year, 5% at the end for a total 10% growth.
And it's a formative assessment.
It's a formative assessment. So that data is also data we collect. But it was kind of overwhelming, and when PED came, we didn't have all the scores yet, so now we have all of that data, so we will also give them that data. And I think that the two ladies who came from PED were assigned to our school because we use Illuminate Ed, and they were both familiar with Illuminate Ed, and that's rare. We don't
Very,
have to-
very people.
Yeah.
Or used it in Westford.
Yeah, so that's another piece of data that we will be sharing too.
Is there a correlation with the kids that miss a lot of school and their scores?
Yeah,
Direct.
totally. So we're hoping with an attendance coach, we're also going to bring up that part. So we're working on all the little parts, all the little pieces, I think. Right? Don't you think?
Yeah, and where attendance really shows up is the credit acquisition. Right? Because you could be pretty bright, but if you don't go to school half the time, you weren't there as they covered the material, so the Illuminate Ed was performed with success. You don't know the material, right? And so you might not get your credit, right? And so you're not graduating now, right? Right here. Don't come to
I
school,
think
too.
it's this one.
Right?
You know that.
You didn't know that?
I know, I didn't. Not a friend.
Hold on, it's
Yeah.
giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
It's giving me a hard time.
The
summary.
Yeah, it just being weird.
Thank you.
One of the things I talked to her. Carol. In the reports that we get.
Yeah.
Read the first grade.
I'll try to cut it down.
Some sort of overall measure. Metrics on is attendance improving, and my goal is not to create a labor intensive data point, but in some way, if you guys can coordinate that, that would go fit. How can you show us on a regular basis, maybe it's cumulative number of days, missed a week or a month or.
She has, yeah, she has that data.
It's not real labor intensive, maybe. To show, how do we make it?
It is labor intensive, but it's labor every day for her. So the early warning system, she could come and prevent it, right? Because she's dogging every kid who's taking a class and putting them in a problem. And so, and it came out of Johns Hopkins work with us, we created an early warning system. And so it's got every student listed. And just like here, some are in the green, some are in the yellow, some are in the red. Right? And so we do an early warning system meeting every week. And we go through this list that shows every kid and every class they miss. Right? And then bring it in, and then they get a letter. They go home with their-
It's not showing.
When grandmother says, I can't make it come to school. The other one go, and she signs the withdrawal form to the offender. But we've done our due diligence and then say, whenever they're ready, we want that.
And in that early warning system, we also look at grades, so you can see the correlation between the grades and the attendance.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and we also look at behavior. So those are the three areas we kind of look at in that early warning system meeting, so we're able to see who needs the support
And
and in what area.
And you're not gonna pass your classes because of grades.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
It's nonstop.
Yep.
It'd be good to be able to see progress being made on the side and what it's hopefully.
So it's student by student, but what's important is that the system exists.
Yeah.
And that it's being tracked on stuff. Right? So nobody's getting to 20 absences before they're reached out. You missed 2 out of 5 days. Where were you? What do you need? Transportation, what? All right, so now, then next week I'm gonna be looking and you don't need to miss those days. Okay, you missed one day. Well, that's okay. We end up kids that had 20 absences right away, without anybody calling, right? And so the school doesn't care. But now, doesn't mean we don't have those kids, but part of the attendance rate was, we kept those kids instead of giving them a drop letter, right? So you give them the drop letter, then you say, we still want to see you, but you're not coming to school, somebody else is going to get your seat. That's, they're more likely to come back. And so when we did when the state came, we brought her in and showed them the early warning system, and they said, oh, well, your attendance 2 years ago was 38% average, right? And when they say that, that means they only count a student as in that if they had less than 10, if they had 9% attendance, right? So we only had 38% of our kids that had 9% attendance. So they looked at, I don't know, we're 3 weeks in, and they looked at, oh, you have 88% attendance. And so they wanted to make that for the goal for December. I said, wait. So some of those kids,
88.98.
right? So some of those kids that are missing are gonna continue to miss, and I don't want to throw them out there, right? So we agreed to 68%.
Yeah.
Right, so, double our average attendance, but they count students that have 90% attendance. Right, and so, we have a lot of students that might have 80% attendance, that for them, that's pretty good. Right, that's 1 day a week, right? But they're not counting that as attendance. Right. There's legislators that if you miss more than 10%, they don't want to fund.
That's good. After PED came, they did a beginning of the year summary. The summary. So this is the site visit summary, and the goals on page 2 and 3 are all the goals that are in our dash. So they just put them kind of in a easier format to see all together. So they visited with us, they went over the dash, they talked to us about all our data, and this is what they're going to monitor, as well as all of us here. So that's it so far. And it's only what, September, and they've been here, we've done all this goal setting, and now we're implementing it. And any question?
No, I really like that data, so,
The star, or there's just tons.
yeah, the graphs,
Yeah,
I like.
The
graphs.
graph,
I see things quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. and I like them colored.
Yeah.
And the Illuminate Ed assessments matrix, they're colored too. Yeah, so you can see right away what question you missed, it's red, and if
Yeah.
you got it right, it's green. So you can see your name, and you can see.
And
So I don't have a question, but I have a comment that this, while it's a burden of pain in the butt, takes a lot of time, does all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think this is really necessary. One, for our charter approval in another year. I think it's important for us as a board to know what's happening at the school. I mean, as I read these, I know intellectually or sort of hear what's going on, but when I look at these numbers, it's frightening to me as far as what the hell we're doing here. I mean, I think it's a great place, but our numbers don't indicate we're, I'm thinking, April, of that thing you said about a charter school of the year. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Now, we can improve and look great. And again, how are we gonna do that? And I know this is a step. But I'm just making the comment that this information is very useful, I think, for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and,
You
that-
gotta know it.
and that's why I made the comment the comment about the not yet program, watching TV, this school was a similar school
Yeah.
with low test scores. They implemented the not yet as opposed to grades.
Right.
They turned it around. I think this lady got an award, so the fact that you showed this to me resonated with something I was gonna eventually mention. So the data is good and I liked it because I was a kid that you got beat up for having a good test score. Okay, but if you showed me over the green, my friends wouldn't know what a bar graph is, so they wouldn't know it was me. But when the teacher said 90, right, I had the reverse effect, right? But to see that not yet is really cool because it does give the kids anxiety, at least. in
Robert
my-
can really talk about it, not yet.
Let's bring you in.
Question, how early do parents get to hear that, their child is being absent or leaves the school?
They're notified twice a day. They're notified twice a day. There's a phone call that goes out in the morning and a phone call that goes out in the afternoon based on attendance. So how attendance is entered, if they're absent or tardy, there's a notification that goes. Now, in terms of like the
I mean,
consistency,
Lauren
that's
does
where,
like the discipline.
our attendance coaches notifying families. daily.
So parents get to know right away.
Right away.
Oh, yeah.
Not at the end of the week.
We get phone calls at the
Think
school
anymore. It's just a
verifying
matter of
so-and-so
keeping
is
up with
back
these
because I
kids
just got a
because they've been
notification. I need to check
better
on that.
this year.
And then you don't have some.
It's just
families
really
that-
unruly. I don't
that,
know.
But it goes out twice a day.
Or the parent calls in to excuse. them.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
Well, I mean, all right, but so the parents been notified,
Uh-huh.
right, and they wanna, oh, they're sick today, right, but the parents been notified. It's not moving through.
So that's all I have on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I do wanna say though that, so the way they did this, they wanted the data before the teachers were even here. Right, and then, we would have liked to have done our testing. Right, so that we had current data. Right. Not showing last year's data. Right. Right,
Well, this was all last
No,
year.
this is,
No.
this is,
this is this year's, but they were coming as soon as we opened the doors.
Right, right.
And so you've got to get kids into classes, you have to set up the testing. And so if we'd had another week, we would have had more data that was more relevant to us, because we made changes in who's in Freckle and who's not
Yes.
after they left.
I see.
You see what I mean? So they're just in a hurry and then we're on their schedule and I have to say the people who came liked everything they saw. Oh, you think we're gonna be out of this MRI thing in no time at all? Well, I think about it. Back to your point, right? Yeah,
did you like, okay.
yeah, we're not,
Michelle gives us kind of feedback, because she's sort of in PED, but not really. Yeah, she's on top of it, and she's like, Linda, you guys have the data, you guys have, you're measuring what you say you're gonna measure, and we have schools who said, in 10 years, we will make, she's like, yeah.
so
Yeah.
our game meeting was an exemplar for other schools.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get any better than that. That's not there,
The
right?
process is,
And as Linda says, that which is monitored gets worked on. And so you've gotta see it to do something.
well, and many of the goals was walkthroughs,
Yep.
instruction,
Yep.
making sure that teachers are doing what the goals are.
And we have specific days that we wanna see specific things,
Mhm.
so we'll walk through and make sure, yeah,
What they're teaching
Yeah.
on those days.
yep.
Well, and so the agenda's up, there's a do now, certain things that are then non-negotiable, can be shared, then non-negotiable with the state, right? Those are the best practices, I mean, but now you have to monitor it and make sure those things.
And does it seem as if teachers are committed to doing it? Because it's gonna be work. I mean, if I'm teaching, this is in some ways additional work or different work for me.
There is more work.
It depends on the teacher.
Yeah.
It
So it
does,
varies on the
exactly.
teacher.
Especially if you're a new teacher, oh my gosh,
They're
it's
very-
overwhelming,
they are very-
days, yeah, it's a lot.
And we have a few new
We've
teachers.
got another teacher.
Our veteran teachers are able to incorporate it much more easily than.
stand by and.
Well, and they were doing it last year.
They usually are there,
Yeah.
they're already doing it.
They were
yeah,
already.
Without really even knowing about
Now,
it.
now it's a little more, this is
Okay.
what we're gonna look at, and so. And
It's more defined.
It is.
So they came in and were given time, working together to put their goals into professional development. Right?
Yes.
So that
Uh-huh.
everybody agrees that this is what we're working on.
Okay,
Then they put them in there after this was presented. And so they understand what the goals are, they understand what we're looking for. So there are some new teachers that are underwater and on the table.
But they did, that is a good point. All their PDP goals are based on this.
Yes.
right?
Every single.
You didn't get to pick out some strange people. This is what we're.
So you had to pick at least. Right, okay, right.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda.
Thank you.
Yeah, let us know if you ever.
Then the next time will be 90 days from now, there'll be another one of these.
Yes,
Yes, second semester, we'll do. More
That'll be
Comparing-
second semester.
comparing this data with the data that we do right up for this.
Yeah. Where are we at? Are we at?
Yes.
We're a week away.
And I just did the 30-day, so. On that annual plan, on the 90-day plan, you have to do a 30,
The-
60, and
Right.
90-day check.
And the financials,
already
the
done the
student
30.
count,
So
Yeah.
we're waiting
Oh, no,
for the
I-
60.
that was last night
So
when I was
you have to
putting them together.
monitor it.
I pulled live
Yeah.
numbers.
They want.
They want, yeah,
Primary, you know.
yes.
We get 6,000 on students.
It's more like,
11,500.
yeah,
This was kind of-
11,500,
in some
double.
ways we need it.
Wait,
7,500. It's like paddle.
Oh, good.
11, no, 11,500.
That's a round average.
Yeah,
We'll do a new calculation this year.
yeah.
Depending on how many special ed
Gets
kids
it
are we
done.
probably-
Yes. This is a. We're. It's just a.
And that's everything. Yes. And they have data talks. So we're making them do that. We never. Where's that? Yeah, and now. Two, with each of your advisors. So it's a small song. And you, how you like it. Which one is it? Away from. Implemented a lot.
Well, it's a-
Yeah.
Thank you.
Karen, you gonna do
I
errands?
should be there, sure. Yeah, no problem. Have a great day.
See, you too.
See you later. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, bye.
All right, so at the middle school, I can just read the report that Aaron sent out. He said we're now 7 weeks into the school year and 2 weeks from the quarter. In other words, we are halfway through the fall semester. Students are settling in, and for the most part, the honeymoon is over. Some of our students are starting to show true colors. This is completely normal. Some of these true colors are an area of support for some of our new staff in terms of classroom management. A huge focus of mine continues to be supporting and building relationships with new students, families, and staff. Additionally, I'm continuing to maintain established relationships with staff, students, and families. I am asking for middle school staff to continue to do the same as well. We're approaching the halfway semester. We're also preparing for our first round of parent conferences that will take place October 9th and 10th. Advisory teachers are currently in the process of scheduling these conferences. Here with the Governance Council, our 90-day plan is our guiding document for the 24-25 school year. Principal Sanchez and I continue to bring alignment from this plan to everything we do at RFK. We're supporting our teachers and staff by connecting the dots of our day-to-day work and how it supports the 90-day plan. Teachers and staff are seeing their roles and how they can support us changing our MRI designation by fulfilling their role while at RFK. This also means the admin team is completing multiple walkthroughs in all classes, including advisory. From these walkthroughs, we're also tailoring topics, tasks for our weekly meetings, staff management, department, PLC, etc., to better support our teachers reaching the targets set in the 90-day plan. And a lot of what he's touching on here, I actually touched on as well. So we're in sync in as far as walkthroughs and what we're looking for. I'm happy to report that some of our partnerships have started their programming at the middle school and others will be starting now in October. We're also meeting with new partners who are also eager to work with RFK. We're hoping to enrich the learning opportunities of our students with the support of our parents.
How many weeks?
As far as staff, we welcome our new social worker,
20,
Evelina Salazar.
20,
She comes to us by
Eight?
way of Central Savila.
is it 20? That sounds,
No.
that's not too many.
Central Savila has been a partner of ours
About
for many
20,
years now.
30?
We're excited for this new partnership and looking forward to supporting students and families who
No, I
support
know.
of Evelina and Central Savila.
I have.
As far as
One of my
students, current enrollment at
contractors
the middle
puts
school is
it on
61
there.
students, 13 sixth graders, 20 seventh graders, and 28 eighth graders.
Mhm.
We still need 39 more students to be at the 100 mark. Our numbers are now on the increase. But as yes, we've had some students withdraw, which canceled out some enrollment. I'm happy to report that we are now on the increase. I've met with multiple families over the last week.
It's
more
19 weeks and
meetings
one
scheduled.
semester, so.
I am encouraged
How many?
by the
38.
latest trend. Many families I've met with have been referred to us from community middle schools. This goes to show that our relationships with neighborhood schools are proving to be.
Something like that.
Attendance,
5
we're seeing
months,
some
4
trends with
months.
absenteeism in
Okay.
certain students, which we are addressing. Some of our students are continuing the trend from previous years, but it continues to be on a case-by-case basis. Unfortunately, some of our families are dealing with situations out of their control, illness, unexpected events, and other problematic situations. We're trying to support our students and families the best we can. We want our families to know that we can help if we work together. So facilities and campus, our new gates are currently in the process of operating a more secure campus, as the staff ID cards will soon be able to open the gates. And an intercom system to allow us to determine who gains access onto campus. This equity PC said we didn't need to read it. It said. So, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer his questions for him, but if you have them.
Did you like the comment that he wrote, about, that RFK is here to help their families? That's a good thing, right?
Mhm.
I forget that
And,
kids
the-
have other issues that I.
Oh, yeah.
and it's not like school staff isn't aware.
Understand.
Right.
And we've talked about this before.
Yeah. It's definitely a high need community. Having these social workers, we have a social worker on campus now as well, and that's super helpful. Working with students individually, because they come with a lot on various levels. So sometimes education is the last thing on their mind when they get to school.
Yes.
So it's nice to have somebody to help them regulate and reintroduce, into the classroom environment.
And the social worker at the middle school comes from Central Savila, which is a nonprofit, couple hundred yards from the middle school. And they really focus on Spanish-speaking social workers, which is really need for, and so because the budget is last year, we eliminated behavioral health workers that actually work for the school. And these are contracted through one year through PES,
Yes.
and one for middle school. So it's two different people. So we have 3 behavioral health, 2, with both social workers. But we're not covering their benefits, we're not, so a non-recurring one.
Yeah.
Which was the issue. Sort of on recurring something, so get it this way, that the behavioral staff are both in place and, one here seems extremely calm.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So who are the partnerships this year that are already, that you guys are working with? Do you need all the middle school partnerships?
There's so many.
So the peanut jelly, for sure.
Okay.
Nature Niños.
Nature Niños, which is, outdoor experiential,
Them.
opportunities.
Explora.
Explorers there at the middle school now. Central Savila.
John's Hop-
Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, they're doing.
Yeah.
So pretty much the same ones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, except for, what is that one? There's another outdoor learning, what is it,
Nature Niños?
Gulch, Conwood Gulch,
Oh, Conwood Gulch.
that's no longer,
Nature Niños doing that.
okay. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, give it a read my. So at the high school, the administrative team is completing walkthroughs of teachers' classrooms. We will begin formal observations in a couple weeks. Many teachers have developed curriculum routines. Some of our new staff members are still adjusting to the expectations and responsibilities of being a teacher at an MRI school, which we just talked about. Yeah, there's some classroom management that we're addressing with some teachers as well.
Yeah.
So once that gets settled, it makes it a little bit easier. In our observations and walkthroughs, the administrative team is looking for enforcement of the dress code, taking daily attendance, entering grades by Wednesday mornings, the enforcement of the phone policy in the classrooms, and established behavior plan, following the daily advisory schedule, implementing the 10 non-negotiables, and ensuring teachers are attending. We'll meet with teachers individually who need support in these areas. So we're getting to the point where we're about to schedule meetings based on who we think might need some support around any of these areas.
With an Excel sheet, identifying those particular areas for those.
Yeah, we've been tracking and we do our walkthroughs and then just information we receive to determine who needs some support. We hired an educational assistant. Her name's Myra Edetta. She comes from Academia,
Esperanza.
yeah, Academia de Esperanza. 16 years experience. She's fantastic. She's bilingual. She's supporting our new science teacher who needed some behavior management support, and that seems to be working really well.
And they work together. before.
Yeah. So that's very encouraging. We have 15 teachers right now, 8 educational assistants, and 12 staff members, including maintenance, office, budget, and support staff.
Is that basically fully staffed?
We are
Under. That's as many as we want. That's so many we use.
That's just at the high school.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We don't have another room. But, and so we actually have an additional staff that we brought on to be able to manage a computer lab. Because the students come in now, you can't just drop them in for halfway through, right? And so that they can be enrolled on the computer. They might get an art class or they might get a PE class, but they'll be on that computer, and so that'll allow, because the regular classes are full. And so this is a way for us to continue to absorb students in order to raise that student.
And it's all self-paced, so they
Yeah.
can, yes, they could earn
Yeah,
credit.
they can earn credit
Do
now.
they come here and do it?
Yes,
Yeah.
So they're in attendance.
yes.
Yeah.
They're in.
Enroll-
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a certified teacher with the alternative licensure program for the class, but there is very little virtual opportunity. I'm not saying that we don't have some students that are working from home. And then if you've got a full day schedule, you could pick up a class that's virtual, but you've got to come in at least one day a week, checking with the teachers for your progress. Right, less than 6 kids.
So is that an option for them, or is it something just until a seat comes up
Well, so it's which an option, to be at home?
to be at home?
No.
Or in the lab.
To be in the lab, it's that we can't put you in, those other kids are halfway through,
Okay,
you wouldn't have
okay,
time,
okay,
right?
okay,
But of the virtual class, 5, 6 weeks, you can still earn your credit,
okay,
if you get on, right?
okay.
And so it's waiting for that next semester, so that
Okay,
we
so
can
get
put
it.
you in a
All right. All right, yeah,
Um,
that's good.
Otherwise, the students get really annoyed. So I'm in the class, but there's only 5 weeks left, I'm not gonna get any credit, so why should I work? I put my head down, right? So here's an opportunity to work, right, with a teacher to help you get the credit, right? So that you're serious, and then we'll get you into a class.
Okay,
Better than leaving them out there.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
option. It's a really good option for them.
Keeps them off the street.
And engages them in RFK instead of going down the street and getting
Right.
them somewhere.
Right.
You're gonna hurt. Yeah.
So we have 5 staff members who are working on licensure through a college or university right now. So they're not fully licensed, but working on licensure. As of 9/23, our enrollment was 248. I think we're still sitting there. Students do seem to be moving from school to school a bit still. We've had a few disenroll, and then we have others enrolling, which kind of seem to cancel each other out. 40-day count is due October 9th, and that's our snapshot of our enrollment, so we'll see where we're at on that day.
Also, budget.
So,
Well, that's pretty clear. So we don't broadcast that, but I mean, we got our budget meeting today.
Yep.
And talked about those hard numbers and.
yep.
Which you'll cover in your director's report, right?
I do.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's there, I read it.
So again, our attendance coach is doing a great job. Focused intervention system she's implemented are proving to be working to improve student attendance in our dash plan that we just went over. Our reported attendance for the 22-23 school year, unfortunately, the dash PED gave us 22-23 data that we had to work through because they don't have the 23-24.
It's still embargoed.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange, but that's the starting point. So we were at
38% is the
Yep.
starting point.
Yeah,
From
but it's the
22,
year
23.
before.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of districts are arguing with PED, they don't want to accept that data, and so that as long as the arguing goes on, then they keep it embargoed.
Yeah. right,
Oh, my.
right.
It's true, Carlos, right?
Yes.
Sorry. As a member of the PEC.
Yeah. Well, and the big thing though is that we're at 88%.
Right, right. So that's been a huge difference.
And so she's right next to you,
Mhm.
she's working nonstop.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, she's done a great, I mean, that's a real win.
So do you want me to keep that part in the minutes? The attendance rate in from 22 to 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's the data that.
It's recorded anyways.
There you go.
But our current is 88.98,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, just to make sure that they.
But that's the baseline they gave us to measure from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with a low pace.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Nothing wrong.
Sound
Campus,
But we are aware.
yeah. On campus, they're still trying to install our gates. They've installed them. They're supposed to be getting the key cards done. I think they were here yesterday, but they don't seem to be. Okay,
Are these APS?
yeah. Oh, they have a.
Yes, but there's a contract out.
Contract.
Yeah,
That's down the line. It's all APS. I don't know, it's probably $280,000 worth of work, I think we had to put up 50.
yeah.
So we wanted
Yeah.
cameras, we want.
Yeah, it'll be nice and secure at some point.
The new normal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
we'll see how secure it is.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are pretty strict.
Like to prop the gates open.
Yeah,
So work orders we've been putting in, we've had some maintenance stuff that's needed to be taken care of, but I think we're pretty on top of what needs to be done and put in the work orders for them. Lawrence Portis, who is our assistant dean of students, done a great job coordinating fire drills and evacuation drills. Lawrence, Aaron and I completed and got certified on an introduction to the incident command system, which we had to do through FEMA. The system's used nationwide, so if there's ever an incident, we know how to sort of set up a command in theory. With our 4-hour training. We have staff doing campus sweeps during the day. That's something that I've recently implemented just to make sure students aren't hiding out anywhere. They like to go to their cars, so we're kind of wrangling them back to class, making sure they're not doing what they're not supposed to. So that's health and safety and security for students and guests and all staff.
It's gonna make a class too.
I know. David, our evening maintenance staff member, he ensures the campus is secure in the evening, so we make sure his kid ends after everybody leaves, so we don't lock everything up. X windows. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did have a comment observation. So couple weeks, I guess I was here for summer school. And summer school is not a makeup session. It's kids trying to accelerate their academic career, right? On the cell phones, there's like a pocket of different cell phones. Yeah, there it is. And the first thing I noticed is they all walk in and they put their cell phones in. So they're off. They're not monkeying around. with them. And then, which I thought was really cool, at the end of the training day or teaching lecture, they're allowed to pull out their cell phones and they run little games and they really are pumped up to play those games. And they're kind of mathematical games. So the cell phone policy seems to be working. I observed that this year and last year. They're very good at they don't complain.
So
That's great.
Yeah.
So you saw students who attended RFK, right? So they were part of the school culture.
Yeah.
You saw students that were giving up their summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So selective.
Yeah, so.
Right, so I just want to point that out.
Yeah, no, and my next question, there's another group that probably resists this altogether and, it's just, that's why, yeah, I'm
You
tracking.
saw
with you.
the cream.
Yeah.
Well, and part of the accountability.
But they should get the credit and we should somehow ask them, hey, get your friends to do that. It's not a big deal. They didn't. They were teenagers and they weren't, you're not gonna get this phone off from my dead cold body, right? They.
Well, it's part of the culture of the classroom,
Yep.
so that's part of
Yeah.
what we're looking for when we're doing our walkthroughs, because there definitely are some teachers who aren't using the policy or enforcing the policy, and it's an issue, so
Yeah.
those are the one-on-ones we're gonna start having about needing to follow the policy.
How's it going for you? Because this is 40 days, 7 weeks for you, new
It's
school,
wonderful.
new world.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
Sure, it's challenging.
it's challenging. The first part of any new job is relationship building, learning what the culture is, who's who, kind of how the systems work for the students. So I think it's just been a lot of learning. I've been trying to really just learn about what this school is. Robert and I have been developing a really good relationship, I think, and it's been good. I'm happy. It's a good place. Yeah, yeah.
Her previous job, she didn't have to worry about kids getting in their car in the park.
No, or a cell phone.
That's right. No, or anything.
Like that.
Right. Yeah, so it's good. Thank you. for
Yeah.
asking.
Sure.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Mhm. Okay, Finance Committee report by the Finance Committee.
Yes.
Lisa and Lawrence.
Yes, so I'll be giving the report today. The report is for August 2024. It'll be the treasurer's summary for RFK High School. We're gonna do things a little bit differently going forward. I'm gonna cover a bit more information than we previously covered. Usually, we just talk about actual as expense, budget year-to-date, actuals year-to-date, so I'm gonna take it a little further. So Lanique and I have discussed some ideas. We came up with about 10 topics that will be a standing agenda, so I'll repeat this every 10 times, and I'll try to keep this very brief. There are 10 things we need to go through. So number one, the Treasury Committee will host a Zoom meeting each Wednesday at 6:30 or 7 p.m. This will help Lanique and myself manage our daily schedules, so I'll send you a Zoom invite and you a Zoom invite, Robert.
Every week, Wednesday or the Wednesday before?
I'm sorry, the Wednesday before. Yes, once a month. For today, we will report out a variety of things. I'll just go quickly through them. There are 3 reports that you get each month, either the day of, a week before, etc. So I'm gonna do the work for you guys. I'm gonna do the reading. I'm gonna summarize and I'm gonna make recommendations. You're certainly welcome to read it, right? But as the treasurer, I'll do most of the heavy lifting and communicate out to the board. Let's see the question. Somebody's.
No, it's a great.
Okay, good. So actual versus expenses for the current month, there are 3 reports that discuss that. The first one is the balance sheet report. I'm going to report that that's acceptable, meaning we have enough money to cover our liabilities. Balance sheet matches revenues. For your information, there are 36 accounts. So I read through them, I poured through them, I wrote a little algorithm to do some checking, spot checking on your work. Everything's lining up, so we're good. So at the end of the day, when you look at that, there are 11 accounts that show someone owes us money. And someone owes us 9 cents if you looked at it in detail. Basically, I talked to Irene about that, and that's what the RFRs are about.
Yeah, it's just a small rounding,
Yeah.
because sometimes there's a slight difference.
Yeah, so I've kind of figured that somebody's really counting the nickels and the pennies. But anyway, point is there's 36 accounts that we're tracking. We're good on that report, so I recommend to accept that. The other report is the account summary report for expenditures. That is also acceptable. but I have some questions for Irene. Shouldn't the totals add to 100%? Or is that,
Well, no, not necessarily, because you'll have the, your encumbrances.
okay,
Your actuals, so you'll have, well, on those, you'll have the budget is the first column, the second column is the actual, year to date.
okay,
And then the third one is encumbrances, and the last one is the balance left
Okay.
over.
so that was a question for me. What I want to communicate to the team. It's a good report. We should accept it. And for your information, that report has 492 entries. So I don't expect all of us to go through them, but I went through them and scrubbed them, and everything looks acceptable to me. The last report that we have is the account summary report for revenues. That is also acceptable. We have received 18% of our budget per schedule, and we are 60% done with the school year. I think Aaron's report said 7 weeks, 16. 16. So we have a little bit more money based on where we are in time. Aaron's report said 7 weeks. We have 39 weeks. You do some math, it works out to the 18% in terms of the schedule. So we've got some time to go, but things are tracking. Another FYI, that report has 100 entries. So I'm trying to communicate with those numbers. There's a lot of data. Thank you for pulling that data together. Sylvia had an algorithm that she ran. Lanika is going to do a different methodology, or she may adopt what Sylvia does. So I'll leave that to Lanika to decide. Let's see. The last metrics show that we are green for the months of cash that we need on hand. That's a good thing, but we are in the red at 78% budget to actual. We'd like it to be at 90% or better. That's the colored sheet in the back that we get. I'm just giving it to you now.
It's for
Because attendance, budget to actual.
Yes,
the budget to actual.
Yeah, so it's our
Student
attendance
count.
is down, therefore our actual budget is in the red.
Yep.
We're gonna lose money.
yes. I think Robert will talk about that in his director's report. I think it's a shortfall of $750,000. Okay. The next thing that's kind of going to be new is issues with bank balances, banking systems, voided checks, non-voided checks. Don't have anything to report, but in the future, I will be looking at that as a treasurer, and so be aware of that. In addition, late payments or account receivable, we'll be looking at that as well. I'll be reporting to the board how that is transpiring, good and bad. This is a new one, and Robert, I mentioned it prior to the start of this meeting. We need to get some ideas on how to secure funding, how we get that money, grants, legislative process, donations, et cetera. So we need to understand as a board how we're generating money, right? It's not just we get a pile of money, but we need to understand how we're doing it. There's a variety of sources from which we get money. Instead of just talking about, numbers on a sheet, we've got to be a little bit more dynamic in discussing how we can prevent that $750,000 shortfall, for example. But just a concept, just ideas to talk about.
Attendance.
Yeah, that's number one.
All
We
right,
talked
but-
about
I
that.
mean, money, Robert gets money.
So, yeah, but all right.
But does the board know how he's getting money?
And there's a difference, and I'll talk about between recurring
Yes.
and money to fill the gaps, right?
The next topic is financial policy procedures, findings, et cetera. We have a report on a financial policy that we have to sign tonight, correct? It's financial policy, kind of fits within the wheelhouse of the Treasury's responsibility. So I hopefully you read that. It's in your package and we'll vote on that later tonight. Procurements and inventory transactions. There's also an executive session today on property. I think you sent out a really large Excel file that I just blew through, but it's there for our review. So we need to talk about that. The other thing is facilities, cost repairs, upgrades, building purchases, operation and maintenance. I double checked with Robert. We own the post office, correct? So we don't owe any money on that. We plan to purchase a home with the vacant land at a cost of $200,000, which is not in any of the financial documents that you guys see. Hence, I put it as a standing agenda topic. We talked about the 280K for the gates. We talked about the 50K for cameras. I'm assuming those bills are already in these reports.
Which ones?
The 280K for the gates that we have, and then 50K for the cameras.
No, the gates it was part APS and part us.
Okay.
So that-
I think we put up 50,000.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so we're good. Point with the,
yeah, that was
yeah,
right.
the point with facilities, we need as a treasurer, we need to start tracking that, see what's coming in and what's going out relative to facilities. And then I'm gonna kind of bump myself up on the agenda. I think I'm third in the financial and bar reports. I'm just gonna say there are 2 bars. I recommend that we accept them. Both, one is an increase of 381,000. One is an initial budget for instruction at 25,000. And the increase is also for instruction. Recommend that we accept them, but we'll vote on that later. The next topic is training for the board, and this is not training that we are required to do by PED. It's more focused on teaching the board, myself included, the bigger picture about money, how we get money, how money is distributed, who funds us, who we could seek to fund us, kind of give you the big picture about funding. One of the things that we talked about, Lanika and I had an impromptu meeting, as Mark knows, last night where we talked about what we wanted to do with this group, the Treasury Committee, right? One of the things we need to ask you guys to do, I'm gonna ask you, is I need you guys the board to read these financial documents the day of or the day before. We're spending a little bit too much time going through the next slide that Irene's gonna do. So I'm trying to look at this from an efficiency standpoint. I know everybody has a busy day, right?
It'll
But
be useful to get it
yes,
in
and-
time that we got,
yeah, so,
maybe 2 days.
yes, so take a look at it, kind of
This whole package would be nice to have before we get.
the idea there is just, I can't ask kids to do their homework if we're not doing homework. So I'm asking us to do some homework and read that. Okay.
You can ask kids to.
Yeah, but if I'm not doing my homework, I feel guilty, right? But anyway, the idea there is just read it, before the meeting so we can get through that topic on the agenda a little quicker than normal. And then there's going to be a discussion of the funding formula. Robert, Irene, you can correct me. I think we get 11,500 per student.
It's our average.
Okay.
It's an average,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that changes. We haven't seen the funding formula calculation for some time, so at some point I would ask you to present that.
Thank you.
And that's a new number, right, for this year,
Rate,
the rate.
actually, it's not, we got money because we're an MRI school.
Oh,
Mhm.
They had additional money, so they did.
oh, okay, that might-
Yeah.
all right.
So that is it. There's about 10 topics that I'll go through, and I won't talk about every 10 topics every time. I'll look at the topics that we put down and then highlight things that we should discuss as we go on. But in terms of the finances, we have enough money to pay our bills, is what I've concluded. Lanika, did you have any comments? You're double
Yeah,
muted.
Nika,
I can see her.
Is she working?
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Probably muted.
Yeah.
doesn't, oh, yeah, she.
So as a.
Sorry, I haven't used Zoom in so long, I can't remember how to do it. Am I unmuted now, hopefully?
We can hear
you.
Okay, good. No, I agree. And I think our hope is that, if we get, packets a little bit sooner, it gives us more time to read everything. And then, I'll work with Lawrence to figure out, kind of a snapshot view of all the reports, kind of a condensed view.
Right.
So I'd like Irene and you and Monica and I to meet, so that the tracking form that you use for the reporting,
Mhm.
so that they see how that works.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's really changed the way we do it.
Mhm.
And I think it increases the level of confidence that both you and I have.
Mhm.
So I think that would be a good thing. for
Yeah.
them to see.
So that's it, Mark and Carlos, on the finances.
Anyone have any questions? So we're, motion to approve the financial statements, finance committee report, approving the committee report.
motion.
Second, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Cash disbursement,
We have a total for August of $469,805.13. Here's the first half of them. Of course, always our larger ones are payroll. And then, you know, insurances, IRS payments, those are the payroll liabilities for the IRS. Do you guys see any that you have any questions on?
Irene, I have a quick question. What is Knight and Associates?
Right, yeah, same. That was mine beneath it.
Well, that was 11,300.
Yeah, on 814.
Right, and associates. Let me look it up real quick. Let me see.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
also the one right underneath it.
what's the other one?
It's right underneath it for 9,666.25.
What does it say it is?
It says, it looks like it says Professional Development LLC.
That's, Linda, Sanchez.
Linda Sanchez, the instructional coach.
Okay,
So every 3 years, we do a request for proposals. She's actually the only one who's involved.
okay.
Kite and Associates is K-12 curriculum, mathematics curriculum. It's software. English language arts curriculum, virtual. So that's all software for teachers and students.
Okay, and then that's getting added to the list of what we need to put on the books for the accrual basis, right?
Yeah, the,
Okay,
Good one, Monica.
yeah. That is
okay.
Gatsby, what?
87 and 96.
Okay, so does anyone else have a question on the cash disbursement report? Not if I could get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the cash disbursements.
Second, thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, bars, and there's two, but one of them's long.
There's actually 3 bars. The first bar is an initial budget. It's for the outdoor learning grant and it's $25,000.
What's the one I missed?
It's the blanket, the maintenance and transfer blanket bar.
Clean it up.
You know how like, so I can move one line to the, yeah. And then the second one is the increase in our SEG. It was $381,000 that we got. The majority of it, because when I read through it, it was because we're an MRI school. They had additional funding, so not all schools got the same amount.
Okay,
We were fortunate to get as the amount we got. So because what it was for, I put the majority of it in the instructional piece.
And it's,
Yeah, small piece, yeah.
It is the 25,000 outdoor ed. Who did that come from?
PED,
PED.
of the Public Education Department grant for outdoor learning space. So. For outdoor experiential.
We have people doing outdoor and
I do.
stuff. Oh,
So the contracted services, And so Nature Ninos will do some additional stuff. Then, he sent it, with the nonprofit, ambassadors. So they're doing art in nature.
And then there was just a small amount, $2,000 for supplies for those programs. Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is a lot of times those grants are out of school time, which means they have to happen on Saturday, in the evening. This is an in-school one, and so please, right,
It's like environmental art.
yeah. Eco identity.
Mhm. The third one I have is our blanket, maintenance and transfer bar. Normally around this time of year, I ask you guys, to approve that. That way I can just do cleanup on individual line items. I
Comments?
cannot do any increases or decreases or initial budgets.
So this bar is totally different in format than these bars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is,
There's no budget to it. It's just
Yeah.
permission for her to take little negatives off here and move them up around. so
Yeah.
that it balances.
there's no
Does this
increase
go-
or decrease.
Does this go to PED? This does, this form?
Yeah. To show
Well,
that authority.
I have this, yeah, with this approval, I'm able to enter bars like, that look like this in OBMS.
So this starts the process.
Yeah.
Okay, and is it okay to say this will be to clean up accounts? The reason I say that, in the detail on the bottom, it says things like justification. Under budget, insufficient budget, or needed to close out project are not acceptable. This is acceptable language for.
Yeah,
PED?
it's
Okay.
what we put in the actual description is a maintenance bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. I'm
And
good.
then we'll get we'll see, the finance committee and the board will see all the bars that were completed, correct?
Yeah, I can provide them to you guys. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think we should be able to see those, please.
Which ones? The maintenance?
Yeah, any bars that happen even under this blanket,
Yeah, I
Um,
can provide them to you guys when I do 'em.
yes.
Okay,
Okay, then I make a motion to approve the bars.
okay, do I have a second?
How did she say it?
Motion to approve the bars.
Oh, but did she,
voting on
did-
Plural.
she didn't say that.
I said plural.
You said plural.
Okay, if she did it, because I didn't hear that. But anyway, if we all agree,
They're voted on together but recorded separately.
yes.
So because of the minutes, they need to identify individual bars.
You said plural, so.
Okay. I'll
Okay, all three bars. The new budget for 25, the additional funds of 381, and then the blanket bar.
Thank
The
you.
major part. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Then all in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Passes. And finally, oh, that was bars, okay. Inventory.
I'll share my sheet.
This is the tough.
Yeah, this is all the inventory for our school from the beginning of time.
Yes. Yeah, I went through this and I said, "Oh my God."
You will see the items on the bottom. Those are the most current items. Those are let's see. Mhm. These are items that towards the bottom, you'll see that were added last year. Okay,
So are they, do you have them value wise listed?
not value wise on here, but I have everything tagged. I have to tag everything and then
Is it-
some, yeah, anything over $5,000 I have to depreciate and include on my asset schedule. So like you'll see golf netting. I don't actually put a sticker on it. I do give it a sticker. I have a book that I keep them
So this is
just to
part of
keep
the-
it
your
straight.
APS PED's property management program, inventory management, keeping track of your.
Yeah,
inventory.
this is our own. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Mhm.
There's a lot of dates missing.
I don't always usually put the dates on there. It's more so I have to show in here for the auditors, they want to make sure I'm keeping track of all the assets. So usually what they'll do is they'll pull one, samples of whatever I've added to see if I have it in this list. It's actually an accounting software I use.
Okay, I've just always had to have the dates. So I guess not having the dates kind of throws me off. For our
Okay.
auditors, we always had to have the dates.
I can go and add the dates.
Thank you.
Well, would dates, it seems like would be relevant if it's depreciated.
That's a different schedule. This is only to just keep track of the assets I have. Yeah, my capital assets, I have a completely different schedule I have to keep for that. And on that is all the details, even the account code I use.
I looked at this, I didn't see any issues from my perspective. I assume this is the format that the requester wants it in,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, we have to have some type of inventory system. Yeah,
Where they told you to go back and.
It's 2,892.
to what?
Correct.
No, this is-
2,892.
So this is in our Sage software. So like when I started,
Yeah.
that's when I added everything we had in those binders and everything. And we purchased this software and I've added everything in it. So there's some things, Lanika, that I am absolutely not gonna be able to put a date on
Oh, that's fine.
because we're talking about like back to 2000.
Yeah, just I would say anything within the last 5 years, if we can add the dates.
Okay.
And the list in column T is all active, correct?
Yeah,
It-
well, no, not actually. I mean, it'll pull in the system, I have inactive. But I keep these listed as active. And then what I do is in the room number, I put those as disposed. You'll see, I can find one for you. See where it says DISP? Yeah, just so, cause I keep it in there, the tag number's in there, and the item is still in there. But it's been disposed, whether it was like a laptop that broke and I couldn't get it repaired.
Yeah,
So
so,
forth.
because we've approved the disposition of inventory, I assumed the DISP was if you
Like
audited.
one of
it,
those,
we
yes.
could collect, okay, I'm tracking with this.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this report.
I mean, it's just a huge,
Yeah.
all the things.
Yeah, but it's, I think auditors see money. We have to,
Or things leaving,
yes.
right?
Yeah, that's how I looked at it, is, this is money, and if you can't account for it, then something's amiss.
In this list, is everything worth $100 or more is what I put in our accounting system. Everything
Yeah.
else, like chairs, I'll tag them with an RFK tag. Yeah, but these are actually numbered and,
So-
Put on your little inventory.
yeah.
So as part of training that I have taken over the years, this is one that they've discussed as being something the school has to be pretty, accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
Things tend to grow legs and walk away
Or drive.
or try. Yeah.
Okay, so if I can get a motion to approve the inventory. Motion to approve, okay,
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Irene.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Evan.
You're welcome.
So policy and procedure, financial policy and procedure,
Yeah, let me pull it up.
I think we have a copy.
Yeah, you guys
Oh.
also have a copy of it in there as well.
So my question is there anything new in this report that was not in last year's?
Yes.
I had the same question.
Um,
Pardon?
That's right here.
Yeah,
Yes.
like,
Don't we have to do it annually? Just when there's changes.
I mean, when there's changes, you can always approve them annually, yes.
I looked for a little line that showed changes. I didn't see, maybe it was just me.
No, it's a small change, a small addition. And I'll show you where it's at on there.
If I read it on my cell phone, I was thinking, well, maybe she did do.
I didn't highlight it or anything, but if you go to the last page, page 8. right here. Cybersecurity. It just recently came up in May that it's a new, kind of a guideline that we have to follow. We have to mention cybersecurity, being that we are, charter for APS. We can follow the district's policy. So, what the auditors suggested is just to add it in there and put on there, we currently follow the district's, cybersecurity policy. And I also put the hyperlink in there for it.
And is that policy looking at PII, personal identification information?
Any of it.
Any of it, okay.
Besides putting that wording, you need to include the actual policy that is followed.
It does, it has the hyperlink. You can click on the link.
Oh, very last page. Right there.
Is it very long?
It's huge.
I'm sure.
Wow.
So yeah, so I put,
Yeah,
That's the book.
because I went to that link and it was pretty long
yeah,
and most government, well, I'll just speak for the government, well, our government, we are very protective of people's personal information, health records, payroll, performance ratings, pay increases, so there can be lawsuits for that, and they've been involved in those relative to PII. Hacking.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Do we have to have some protection on probable hacking?
What we do, and there could be requirements now, training and getting additional protection.
Okay.
And our technology contractor officer.
Oh, okay. Cause that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
what is it, the ransomware or something?
And we could hack,
Ransom.
our financial system is pretty back before.
Yeah.
They're hacking kids, any type of information, wherever they can get it, and then they're somehow exploiting young adults.
Yeah.
From all and,
Yeah, open the
Yeah.
picture.
yeah, guys like you and me, right? Is that true?
Like Teresa being a legislator, she gets all kinds of. Calls.
Yeah.
And so she's being hacked and it's pretty fine.
So is Mark. I keep getting things from Mark. Hey, can we meet tonight? I go,
Oh, yeah.
"It's not Mark.
My name's been used in a lot of.
Yeah, Mark just likes your text. He don't respond to them.
As soon as it's on the website.
You see, it's an AOL account.
I figure it's an old guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Tells all the time.
This cybersecurity, I just wanted to mention,
From you. Not from you, but from somebody saying.
Yeah.
this cybersecurity policy, was brought up in the audit. That's why I went ahead and put it. It's not a finding or anything like that. It's a suggestion, and they said it literally just came out in May. So what they're doing is letting all the schools know, hey, you know, you want to do this. So that's why I was like, nope, I'm gonna do it right away. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the other side of that is someone needs to read this to know what we have to do or not do, right? I don't know if that's-
Sounds like we need a cybersecurity team. I'm not volunteering.
Let's just do an AI.
I feel like that team should be somebody from Sandia.
Yeah, we should use ChatGPT as my recommendation.
I'll have it read by morning.
Yeah,
When could you have a comment?
Someone.
I'll,
I said, I think it should be somebody from Sandia.
Yeah.
Somebody from Sandia.
this is what I'll do. I do use ChatGPT. I will take that link and have it summarize it for us, and it can summarize it in a 2-page document. I'll take that action so we can exploit the technology that's available, and it's really cool, and it will probably summarize it very succinctly, and it's really neat. So I'll do that.
I love chat.
I'll send it to, yes, sir.
I
I'll send it
love
to
it.
both of you, and then can you guys send it
Yeah,
to the team? That
yeah.
would be more appropriate for me that way. Coming
Oh,
from-
you're the best, Lawrence.
Coming from the bosses.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because
Okay, so let's, Lanika, did you have some more?
No, she's.
No, I said that Lawrence is the best.
yeah, that was it. I accept the challenge.
You and I.
Yeah.
Okay, if I could get a motion to approve the new fiscal management policies and procedures.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, nay. Okay, passes. Strategic planning. Basically, that's just, we need to do strategic.
Yeah, I'm recommending that we do some strategic plan. Which we need to get it on board. The transition is going on. Already, I'd like to see a strategic plan developed.
so we do have a strategic plan. It is on our website. That's a good starting point.
I agree.
But to spend time, on
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
because things have changed. I think attendance, we've got to address that in some
Yeah.
way.
Make it the council. And so I'd like to meet with you, maybe look up a proposal or someone to bring it forward to.
Okay. So probably that would be another time like our training Saturday. kind of-
Or several,
Or several.
right? And I don't need several in a row, but,
No,
you know, so there was an initial strategic planning session, some work done, and then the other place.
We have a committee and strategic.
everyone here has been.
Thought so too.
Every-
Let me look.
Everyone here done
Let me
strategic.
pull it
thought
up.
we had a strategic planning committee.
We do.
We do.
I have Irene looking it up right now.
Okay.
I think that's me.
And then there is in the
It's
strategic.
Mark.
Yeah, and in the
You're
strategic,
the team.
yeah, and in the strategic plan,
You're the
there
committee.
is a frequency at which we're supposed to be doing what Robert just described, so. it's
Yeah.
that. I know it because I wrote one. And I stole it from some other school, by the way.
Well, it was very different than the one that was done before you came, and I came up with.
Yeah.
Their strategic plan, much different.
Yep.
It was very specific.
Yep.
Well,
different than the one that was stolen before.
Yeah, they stole it from somebody, I stole it from them, and we just kept stealing from it.
okay. Does anyone have any more input on that?
Maybe start looking at some probable, time dates while we're
Yes.
on the item so
Yes.
that
Okay.
we don't let it go for another
Mhm.
month. I
Yep.
know
Thank you,
the
Carlos.
end of the year is coming up and it's harder, but at
Agreed.
least start.
Yeah, October is a really bad month for me. I'll pretty much be out of town the whole month, so.
Well, we have October 5th, we do have our, you gonna be here for that?
Is that a Saturday?
Yes.
Yes, I'll be here for that.
So what I would say is maybe that's next week. Then we figure out dates.
Yeah, that meeting.
with that meeting.
At that meeting. that would be great. Yeah, you know, like-
We know where that
Yeah,
means.
we've got an agenda.
The 5th?
Yeah.
And the
I'm not
goals for
sure.
that plan.
I don't have that information.
Okay. Now, we need to, have an executive.
Give me a quick slide.
Oh, Clyde. Sure. What do you got, man?
Public comments.
Public
Yeah, I
comments.
asked them to extend public comment.
That was an hour and a half.
Yeah, you wrote it out.
It's at the Muddle School.
I don't know.
What's that?
Middle
Oh,
school.
the
What's
mid.
happening?
I'm like, what's the muddle?
Everyone was applied, correct?
I think so.
I
Never met him.
Yeah, I
quick intro would be.
really thought.
See, Clyde used to be a board.
Chinese.
I'm sure in, I think once I spoke to you, Robert office. Okay, so nice, to see you again. So, yeah, Robert asked me just to give a little update on some of the projects we're working on in conjunction with CNN.
Tell them what you do here.
I am,
That's Clyde's job position is what he's telling us.
no, okay, so I'm the career technical education coordinator for RFK, and I teach the automotive paint and body class. So as far as CTE coordinator, CTE programs we have are like the auto body, welding, polling arts, digital media, film, we're working on an IT information technology program.
Early child.
Early childhood. So, and we have kind of our fingers in CNM spot in all of those areas. So, by the way, for those of you that don't know, I was at CNM for like 17 years. I recently retired. Yeah, but I still have those very valuable connections. So anyway, so RFK worked with its CNM Ingenuity, which is kind of this is the for-profit version of CNM. So we had $80,000 funding. We worked with North Carolina, South Valley County, and RFK.
Last year.
Yeah, last year, and we put together some, this was kind of a last minute thing, we're trying to throw this together, Ingenuity, trying to find instructors, setting up schedules, what's gonna work at South Valley Academy, Mark Armino, transportation, is it open to the community, all these different things. But, so we were able to get it put together and tweak it along. It ended up being a very, very positive result. Very good feedback got to CNM. And so there's some new funding for the
And
amount
that
of.
funding was getting kids doing some of the vocational.
It was an entrepreneurship, a career exploration, and ESL, I think were the three largest. And it was all for any of the students or adults within the communities of those three schools.
South Valley, Southwest.
And CNM is really trying to put an emphasis on the South Valley, trying to bring more services and training to the South Valley. So when we got this second cycle or funding of the $80,000 for this year and then next year, we thought we would build on the lessons learned from that last go around. So CNM Ingenuity has submitted a proposal. And I just brought one copy. I should have made copies, but actually I can scan it.
Or you can, maybe you could just talk about some of the things.
Yeah, so it kind of builds on what we did last time. So there's an entrepreneurship training piece, and the entrepreneurship will talk about communication, purpose and goal setting, personal finance, creating a business plan, fostering an entrepreneurial growth mindset. Then that kind of leads to a professional skills training, which is effective writing, goal setting, presentation skills, customer service, developing a personal brand, and interviewing. And these are all the kind of things that we just learned the most out of the previous sessions. So we're working on a schedule now. This is going to be, at least as I'm envisioning it, 2 hours a day, 4 maybe 5 days a week. Okay,
Here or seeing them?
here. It'll be here, but it'll also be open to South Valley.
Oh, I see. Physically, it'll be,
Well, we'll see we're negotiating now.
Yeah.
This is their proposal.
this is what CNM has given us,
Yes, is offered.
is what they.
Yeah.
I see.
And they'll send the people down. This comes out of the legislative appropriation. And
So what's nice about this going on is there's proposing a specific pathway to the trades in this proposal. They want to add a skill development piece, which is electrical, HVAC, carpentry, plumbing, and they're going to provide training and industry recognized.
And is that that's not a credit, where does that fit within?
So this is a pilot, so that Ingenuity creates this as a pilot,
Okay,
right? And as opposed to something that is already in CNM.
Okay.
Right, and so if it's in CNM, then anybody can get at it, right? This is a pilot developed just for us.
okay.
And they're liking this, and now they want to try to take this to
Expand
expand
it.
right? And I'm really trying to get it to be for
But
RFK.
these get done.
And it's really a connection to Capstone and the digital portfolio connecting it to Google.
Mhm.
And so right now, the Capstone's kind of focused on community public health. Some of the students are much more interested in a career pathway. And so we're talking about changing the schedule the second semester to accommodate this 2-hour block, because it's like, they want 30 students. But, I don't know, we might have 20, but that's a negotiation. And it's for a 4-week block each one, is that what it is, a 5-week block?
Some, they range from 4 to 6.
Yeah. And so this would take an entire semester.
Mhm.
So students that were really interested in careers, this would be the opportunity for them to get a broad exposure. And then it says, and then they'll help connect them to CNM, particular classes, right? And other career internships and that sort of thing out of the community. And so last year, this money came through the Grow Fund and Mr. Cobb, Mid-Region Council of Government. Very difficult for us to get the money out.
Oh,
But so it was a dog on a bone starting in July because it was complicated. And so this money is now going to CNM early enough for actually to develop an entire semester.
Great.
And the nice thing is that there's another $80,000 coming. This pathway has now been defined.
Mhm.
CNM is interested in doing this and growing it.
Mhm.
And so I think it's even possible for us to be even further up front next semester. So,
Especially with the facility, right?
yes, and so Clyde's relationship, and he's found RFK and Sweat to be a little more interesting to work with in some ways.
In CNM?
Yeah, because he hasn't lost his relationships.
Right, yeah, with the CTE stuff, it's so, it's pretty exciting, like, so for example, okay, so I met with CNM this morning, our executive director of facilities, and this is kind of regarding the new CTE building. And so we're wanting to arrange a tour of the existing building, and then CNM is building a new trades facility.
Oh, yeah.
On the 12-acre site.
Right.
Is
Is that down here?
It's at the main campus.
Just the main. Oh,
By the Zeno Stadium. So we thought, well, like, just the tour, see what my thought was, why are you doing it this way? What are the things knowing now, you wish you would have done as far as the design, the planning,
I see, it's the
the
same guy.
electrical, all that stuff. So anyway, I had a nice talk with him, and I was telling him, and he and I maintained a relationship, I've known him for many years. And, he's like, gosh, you should, why don't we set it up, bring your folks in, and show you the plans.
The airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm an architect. As well as we concern, if there are plans, we can set out, how the things we set out, we can go into even sharing the curriculum, that we can do things with the curriculum for a lot of the trades programs. is changing. Especially with the arbitrary lifestyle. What we want to feel that there's new changes, what we saying, yeah, and as far as equipment that we want to, like purchasing, we want to be looking to the future. So he was like very, articulation of units or, and setting up those kind of classes for all the programs. And I told, I already have relationships with deans and coaching deans, like I'm already getting the kids in. And he said, well, that's great, but deans change. Because we can get you, it's the workforce and something training. We get you hooked up with them, maybe it's at the state, it's part of the training, no, it's not that way, it's part of CNN. But anyway, that way, the curriculum, all that comes to the top, which is that way, it doesn't matter who the teacher is. And CNN has a commitment to RFK as far as. Anyway, I thought it was a great, it's a great conversation, so he gave me some days and times. We're meeting with the architects tomorrow, so I'll get back to it. And,
So that could really put that facility in.
I want to, you just go down, keep there, and then our students can go up there. Right? And so when they're buying equipment, we want to buy the same. So that when they go up, that's what we did the welding. So when they go up there, oh yeah, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen this. If you do a maker space over at our facilities, they've got a maker space up there, that there's some alignment, so kids go in with some confidence, right? So it's a big step. And it comes
A little more formally.
yeah. But it starts with this piece of ingenuity, and if ingenuity turns it into something more formal. It's a good step for us, and it's timely, because we're gonna do our design in alignment with that.
yeah, so they were very. In the past, it's been like. Us reaching out to see them, and like, they're like, so, yeah, scraping their, like, gum off the bottom of the shoe, but this time it was more like we want to. I sent them the architect's plan and.
That's great.
Yeah, to me, it was like, really.
That's exciting.
It was like, wow, this is better than we were expecting, all the things we want to do.
And then APS is looking to put Clyde on their CTE design team. So they're gonna take them to Santa Fe to look at a building they're gonna do up there. They want to take to Atlanta to look at a CTE facility with APS. And so I'd like to be a little pilot for the CTE building that APS is talking to. And CNN with APS.
Are they built, where is that? They started on that? The CNN.
Where the location of the APS.
Oh, no,
No,
APS,
yes.
it's where UNM student base house.
No, that's where CNN.
CNN.
Oh,
Have they built theirs already?
Oh, yeah, it's
It's up and working.
It's not
working.
it's not open yet, but
Okay.
it's probably 80%.
Oh, I see.
So this is the right time to be in the house.
Yeah, but APS is going to build their own.
Yes, and they won't say where yet.
Yeah.
They haven't bought, they have more high school.
They're gonna do a whole high school.
Yes.
Just CTE.
Because Rio Rancho's building one at CNN.
Yeah.
Taking all their programs out there. And so APS is 5 years behind.
So anyway,
Great, okay.
just for,
That's awesome, Clyde. So you guys are meeting with the architecture tomorrow?
Yes.
The CT, the case.
Yes.
And that's the building.
Lawrence.
Yes,
So we'll, after tomorrow.
this isn't executive, this is public comment. No, not yet, so we're running behind.
Peter was changing, head of the APS capital management. We'll try to- we'll try to get APS.
Isn't it come up anyway?
Great.
No,
And then, well, I think Robert mentioned earlier.
All right.
Is it not real loud?
It times out, yes.
So this is not the executive session?
No.
No,
No?
No,
you can be taking notes.
This
Oh
is
my
public,
Lord.
this is public.
Public comment.
Oh, it's on.
you could give her a copy of your opinion, too. She's gotta put it in the minutes, and now she's,
Give you a copy of
that proposal.
I thought we were already in the executive.
No.
Like, we're like
I'll
waiting
scan
for.
it and I'll email it to you.
Sure.
Or I'll pick an email.
You have it.
Whichever.
That's great.
I'll just give you a
Thank-
hard copy.
Okay, so we do need an executive session to discuss property.
Thank you, Clyde. That's good stuff.
Mine's just a transition into a, thanks.
Nice seeing you all.
Clyde, nice to see you again.
I miss
And I know Clyde. I would do all the motions, he'd say, yeah. Exactly.
You don't have to change that.
He used to
I
tell me,
have some notes on these, Robert.
All right, I'll send it to her. I'm not
So.
Okay.
Rob,
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion to,
You already got it out.
No, I
have an
don't have
executive
notes.
session.
Oh.
make a motion, who stays?
Well, I'm good with everybody's staying, but I don't want your minute to record.
So then I'm gonna have to silence the Zoom, so Lanika,
Did you turn your laptop? You know,
For me, it's easier.
no, because that's where I'm recording.
It's all connected.
We'll do a phone. You want to call?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Do you want to call me?
I think we're gonna do an executive session and we don't want to record it. So, but we want you to be part of it.
Okay. Why doesn't somebody call me?
I am.
Okay.
right, I'm taking my training, that nothing was discussed in executive session except the subject that was.
Nothing was discussed in executive session except that was listed on the agenda.
There it is, I learned that. What do you
Me
guys
too.
talk about?
I just learned it. I just learned it too. All right, so if I could get a motion to approve, Robert moving forward on this property.
Lanika, you can hear?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all.
I
in
can't
favor,
hear you.
say Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
So, in those minutes, to move forward with purchase.
Purchase. Forward, yeah.
Purchase, yeah. Well, because I don't know.
I didn't say purchase.
But PED might say, well, move forward, what does that mean?
Okay, so what am I supposed, what do you want me to put then?
Move forward with the purchase.
Vote was approved
With
to
the
move
purchase.
forward with the purchase of the property.
Or you could strike forward and just say that we will
Motion to
purchase
approve.
the purchase of property.
Yeah.
Is regarding property the same thing?
Robert, what do you got for your executive directors?
You got it, real good, so I just need to keep saying 40-day projection is the problem. I anticipate $750,000 shortfall. I went over with admin, with Reed today, about where the different funds are coming from to fill that hole. IDEA, Title I, the
I'll mention,
$380,000.
Buyups.
And
Okay.
I have another legislative.
Well, let me
appropriation
check to make sure,
for
because a couple of them had
$100,000
said,
this year and next.
I think, I think I already sent it to you, so let me,
Did we just-
let me confirm before.
And it's direct to the county.
Before I drop it down.
So,
Yeah.
we Go to RFK to ABC Community Schools. Jeanette Townsend, and so Irene has been in conversation. Irene is confident that that money is going to flow.
Yeah.
And so,
After I adjusted the budget.
right?
Yeah.
And so, so I was gonna spend it on equipment. But then Irene had a conversation with them and the equipment would have belonged to the county.
Oh, wow.
And so we put salaries and so,
And we can use it for salaries?
Yeah.
yes. They can't use for the same thing 2 years in a row.
Right.
And so Clyde is working for RFK this semester. And so that salary from this semester is in there. The salary for the welding instructor from CNN is in there. The salary for the
Media arts.
media arts salary's in there. So
And then Les, he's a CTE instructor.
he's licensed CT person, he's in there. And so that's sort of a wash.
CTE stands for what again?
And then
Career
next semester,
Technology Education.
That will pay for it. So that's how I'm gonna fill that $750,000. So that means there's not gonna be a reduction in force this year. Right, not, so I cut 3 behavioral health people and a fine arts teacher last year. I fixed the behavioral health piece by contracting services. Because the critical. But this is current operational dollars, that is an issue moving forward and council will say this over those. That's what that's doing. And we need to be part of.
I think it absolutely does. I mean, our numbers.
Right, but so the idea is that CTE facility is then going to attract.
That would be the hope. I mean, that'd be the intention.
That is the intention,
Yeah.
so it's not like there's not a plan. Right, and to get that facility up and operating, by next year.
What's gonna happen when APS gets their CTE, so that'll be a couple of years.
It'll be 5 years now.
Yeah, there's just a lot of students.
They are up right fast.
So.
Career training and education.
Career technology.
Education.
Career in technology
Real
education.
automotive program.
Yeah.
And the cosmetology piece, I think, is
Yeah.
going to attract people.
Yeah.
It's things that other schools don't have. It really is the idea of a student of first choice, choosing to come to take something that RFK is not up. That facility doesn't, we don't fill classrooms here.
True.
And so maybe AM kids over there, back here for academics, it may be like that. right?
So right across the street from that old gas station,
Yes,
almost, yeah.
and there's a little.
Gas
Right
man?
across the street almost from School on Wheels.
Yes.
Gasman.
Is it called
Okay,
Gasman?
School on Wheels is a little more up.
No,
That's-
at Frisco and Ridge.
Okay, you said 1224 Southwest. It's right there by that old gas
Do you see it
station.
on the other side?
And School on Wheels is
Yeah.
not even.
It's right by the
far
income
up
tax
from there.
office.
You know,
Then
It's not too
there's
far up.
Tire shop?
J&J Tire Shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the glass place across the street.
Yeah, my buddy lives down that street.
you know.
School on Wheels is not that far.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Yep. Chat GPT, man, all day long.
Wait.
I have it on my phone too,
Yeah,
and my MacBook.
and it is scary.
I'm sorry, 2228.
22.
Okay, there's the glass company, yeah,
Look at 2228.
okay,
22.
There's a used car lot on the catty corner.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
that's what I figured at first when you had explained it, but, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, great. Well, so, anything else, Robert? that you kind of- I mean, this is a big thing with our town, right?
Yeah. And then I could have
Bring
a
it
thought
more.
on the phase one of the facility development.
Post office.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
And I think, look, a lot of new students, a lot of new staff, new principal, we're 8 weeks in, things are settling, I think we're in good shape. Yeah,
How many new students, what percentage are kids who have?
Here?
Tell, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in
here,
high school.
I'd say,
Half,
no, 40%.
40.
And we have 60 students, 60.
Yeah, we
students.
had a lot of graduates.
Yeah, and but, so
60 or
60 is our biggest group yet. And so we're keeping the kids. And the attendance issues, there are a lot of ninth graders, right? They're new to RFK. Usually half our students here are ninth grade, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and some of them aren't gonna make it, they're not gonna stay, they're not serious, right? And that's the other part of being a school of first choice, not keeping kids that don't wanna be here, you know what I mean? Christopher Romero always said, you want better test scores, get better students, right? But kids come to school and make better students. right? They're
Yeah,
not part of the
that's-
school culture to build.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vaping is our biggest issue now, is it? We haven't come up with the answer.
It's still, and probably worse than smoking cigarettes.
It's much.
Well, what they put in, the concentration.
Yeah,
Yes,
and so some of them are smoking tobacco, right? But a lot of them smoking really strong THC.
Right,
And,
so
and,
strong.
and they run to the bathroom, there's 20 kids in there. And the kids who don't want to get caught up in it, then want a pass from their classroom to come use the bathroom. That's not the student bathroom. And that's one of our problems, but those are kids that are wanting to avoid that whole situation.
We used to bring in, smoker lungs,
What?
smoker lungs. I
For
remember,
children.
they showed real
Oh,
life,
lungs.
lungs
Well,
from
with the CBD,
smokers.
It's not just lungs.
No, it's
their
not.
and
nervous
show all
system.
those organs, and
It's
I
their
was like,
brain
oh,
all just
yeah,
like super good.
yeah, so.
One of
anyway.
those cartridges is half an ounce of pot in the old days.
And those still haven't even been approved to this day.
And they're not
Nothing's
old
been
enough to
approved,
buy.
yeah.
it.
So you
All
don't know
right.
what's going in our system because
Okay,
nothing of that
well,
is approved.
thanks,
I don't know.
Karen, Robert, both for getting this year
Yep.
settled
Up and
and
running.
moving in and settling in.
But that's some good news this year about the retaining the
Attendance.
students and shift in who's really here as student body.
So Karen and I have a real piece of work in front of us for some of the new teachers.
I was gonna say teachers. It's always tough.
And they don't have a lot of experience, we've got to figure out whether this is a good fit, but, we're just at the point now where we're gonna be leaning in to try to see if we can.
Yeah.
Um,
I should have known.
It's a tough group, And if you don't have control of them, they have control of them.
Absolutely.
Or nobody has control of it.
Yep.
And that's where we're at with some of them. But overall, some of the new teachers are pretty spectacular.
Oh, good.
The PE teacher.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay.
But you have to be tough to teach now. I mean, real tough.
You used to have to be tough, man.
Yeah,
To run that.
I taught and I was real tough because I was bad. when I was- I knew, but
You know what? They want to see a little respect, right? And then they want to challenge you,
Right.
to see whether you really care.
So,
Well, it's kind of done. I'm here to teach math, you know what I mean? If you're not here to teach math, you shouldn't be here, right? And I want you here, so we have to get. And when I finish this book, I'll share it with you. It's, comes out of Stanford, teaching math,
Mathish,
math-ish.
Yes.
Mathish.
Okay, training hours, a lot of people are finished with training hours, so that's great. Conflict of interest, we've already done, we can get that off next time. Committee updates, we're gonna pass on that, given our time, if that's okay.
Yep.
Are you talking about that other one?
And
Yeah,
then.
yeah, I figured because next year.
Yeah, and then just a reminder that next Saturday, not this Saturday. Yes, first Saturday.
At the
in
middle
October.
school.
Is it a
Middle
middle
school.
school?
I'm happy for the, right?
Okay.
The
But like,
middle school.
That's what my note said. I haven't.
Like to do.
That came by quick.
But I do have a new executive director, SVEC, I'm happy.
Yeah, I know.
My goodness.
But
Okay,
can I ask for, access to a coffee pot? I'm gonna bring some, pan dulce for the group.
I'll tell you my Pan Dulce story next Saturday.
Okay.
all
It's
right.
really
So,
good.
if I could, is there any other business that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did want to mention just an observation on public comment. We just correct me, we can't engage with the presenter, correct?
We can't.
We can't.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I think you can ask certain questions, but I'm not saying nobody crossed that boundary. It's just, yeah, from training, it says they're supposed to just,
Say something.
yeah,
Just
vomit
comment.
the information and then we go,
No,
thank
but-
you.
Well,
Yeah.
that's probably true. I'm happy to list the presenters outside of.
Yeah, it's just a
Oh,
no.
I see. So if he was on the agenda, but
Yes.
not in public comment.
Correct. So if you want him to get further,
I see.
Yeah.
Procedure.
No
I see.
follow up.
yeah, procedure. So if you want him next time to go into dialogue, put him on the agenda.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and so that's because you're not treating the public equally. So this person gets to ask questions and gets more than 2 minutes. whereas the
Yes,
next person doesn't, right?
yes.
That's.
That's
the
the
idea.
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
I think it's a comment, not a question.
Yeah,
Yeah, there, you can comment, what you guys were doing and questioning amongst yourselves, that's fine, but a direct question to the commenter is. comment.
I'm not sure that's quite true, because I've done public comment and you can't engage, but they could ask you a follow-up. right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
you can do that,
Clarifying,
yes.
but that's how more than clear.
okay, if I
Yes.
can get anything else, motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Nope. Somebody second, 1 and 2,
Yeah.
all in favor, say aye.
I,
And
Meeting's adjourned.
who made the beans tonight?
I would,
Taylor.
Tell her I said thank you, they were very good. Any hot meal I get as a bachelor is like, wow, all I eat is chicken and